Ryosaku affirmed that everything we have attained must be given in return. Nothing for myself that is not also for others. To find yourself is to give yourself to the world, body and soul. To be an integral part of the world, let things happen naturally, without useless effort, surrendering confidently to the present. In accepting Ijo Takata as my teacher, I had moved from me to you, yet because I still saw others as them, I had rejected the we. In wearing the label artist, I had tried to make Ijo into an ideal refuge. There, like a blind and deaf mole, I had distanced and alienated myself from the world. Nevertheless, however alienated I was from this world, I was still more than ready to steal food from it in the form of applause, love affairs, rewards, diplomas, and fame. I was neither more nor less than a thieving parasite. I was always taking, and in return I offered only autographs, literary portraits of my navel, photographs through an artist's mask, and distractions to capture the attention of the whales of social admiration. Meanwhile, the world was proliferating more and more war, misery, sickness, child abuse, murderous industries, inhuman bankers, toxic disinformation, political corruption. And I, in the safe island of my mind, created an art that amounted to buffoonery, a brilliant veneer to hide the darkness of other thieves like myself. Thieves who pillage the earth, robbing others of their health, transforming their tide into a hard personal shell, dividing others' space into dog kennels in which citizens, befuddled by the walls, accepted the obligatory blindness. I saw that nothing was really mine. Everything was a loan to me, and anything that I did not give back amounts to thievery. Now, I am carrying a sack of grain. Thus, in my mind, if I am really an artist, I must sow it. And if I am to be a master, I must teach others to sow, to make it grow, to harvest it. If I remove my selfishness from the world will find peace. Things will then cease to be as I thought they were, and I will become the truth that they already are. We hitchhiked from Oaxaca, crossing endless plantations of corn, and finally arrived at Santa Maria Mixi. It was a small hamlet of houses with roofs made of grass and palm leaves, and with cobbled walls covered with a light coat of plaster, and with only one door and several windows. A group of Indians came to welcome us. There were men, women, and children, probably all mixed race. These people had abandoned their ancestral tribal customs to become peasants, grouped into families. Our visit had caused a sensation. It had been a long time since anyone had bothered to visit these sad lands. With a friendly smile, Ijo made a respectful bow, and I did likewise. The Indians removed their straw hats in return. Ijo looked around for a clear space between the rows of corn and sat on the ground with his legs crossed. He rubbed the earth with care, ridding a large space of its small stones, and then let the soybeans pour out from his sack into a heap. The little yellow spheres seemed like magical jewels lying upon the reddish ground. They did not fail to arouse the curiosity of all the people. In his rudimentary Spanish, the master began to speak. What he said was so interesting to the peasants that several of them ran into the fields to fetch the others who were working there. Ultimately, a circle of about 50 people had formed around us. Because Ijo's pronunciation mixed up R's and is, I improvised a kind of translation. This is a powerful variety of soy that comes from Japan. Its roots go down 3 feet. It resists freezing and drought. It is very rich in protein and in oil. It can be harvested several times a year and grown in any season. It does not need rich soil and will grow even in infertile soil. For about 3 hours, Ijo explained how to plant soybeans, how to grow them, how to protect them from parasites, harvest them, and use them. He gave a description of almost 200 products that could be derived from them: oil, milk, cheese, flour, yogurt, animal fodder, and lecithin, and they may be simply grilled like peanuts. Then, drawing on the ground with a stick, he showed how to orient houses in relation to the sun, opening the windows and moving the stoves outside, because their presence inside was the cause of pulmonary disease. He showed them how to build the stoves outside. He also showed them how to weave sandals using only plant materials. He taught them techniques for making butane gas with their excrement. Then he told them, these lands belong to you, not to the corn. You can grow corn and sell it for a low price to industries that are growing rich beyond your back. If these buyers ever stop coming here, you'll die of hunger. This is the danger of letting an economy grow without limits. Become independent of these industries. Instead of planting to sell, plant first to feed yourselves and meet your own needs. Soybeans are much more useful than corn. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. When Ijo had finished his lesson, the sun was going down behind the mountains. The peasants were very grateful. They brought us 2 bottles of beer, some tortillas stuffed with refried beans, and old newspaper served as a picnic cloth. As Ijo ate, the peasants all kneeled before him. It was clear that they recognized him as a holy man. This reverent silence was interrupted brutally by the noise of an army truck arriving. 10 soldiers, ordered by a civilian, leaped out of it. About 40 years old with a pot belly, the civilian was dressed in a coat with enormous epaulets, a black shirt, a green tie, a large sombrero, dark sunglasses, and a holster with a revolver on his belt. He introduced himself in a loud, barking voice. Salvador Cepeda, official of the Mexican government. The soldiers began shoving and striking the terrified peasants with the butts of their rifles, herding them all into their houses and shutting the doors. Then they all aimed their rifles in our direction as the pot-bellied man shook a finger with a large brass ring at us and shouted, "Filthy communists, guerrillas of the great whore, go fuck yourself. We're going to smash your skulls to teach you a lesson about stirring up rebellion among our workers. What we grow here is corn, not this soybean shit. I'm the man in charge here, and I can kill anyone I decide to kill. Show me your papers. I have a notion to have you both shot dead to set a good example for all those assholes who might want to imitate you." Revealing not the slightest fear, and without even uncrossing his legs, Ijo calmly searched in his sack and brought out a few papers. I remembered that he had told me that when he was a child during the American bombardments of Japan, he was ordered to continue meditating without flinching, even amid the noise of bombs falling. One child monk could not take it and fled from the meditation hall. He was killed by an explosion. After telling me this story, he had added, "Fear is useless." The fat man was having some difficulty reading the documents. Monk, what? Zen? Minister of Education? Embassy of Japan? Bishop of Gornavaka? Well, it seems you have some very good recommendations, Don Baldhead. I can see you're not a gorilla at least, but your friend looks suspicious to me. Get moving, hombre. Show me your papers. Though I knew my pockets were empty, I pretended to search for them. Trembling, I had nothing on me to prove my identity. Aha, so you're traveling incognito, you asshole, trying to get these stinking Indians to revolt. Show me your ID or passport pronto, and I'll have you shot by this firing squad. I realized that the fat guy was serious, convinced that I was some kind of communist. No doubt he was considered communist, more dangerous than scorpions. "Senor Governor," I addressed him humbly, trying to quell the tremors I felt my body from head to foot. "I am a very well-known artist. My death would create a huge scandal. Please do not make this terrible mistake." "You shitty little worm, how dare you tell me I'm making a mistake? You communists have no respect. A well-known artist, you, skinny, filthy, and with that ridiculous chopped-off hair. You're a liar and a coward as well. You don't deserve to live." He pulled out his revolver and pointed it right in front of my nose. "Be thankful that my gun isn't loaded. Otherwise, I'd shoot you right now like a coyote. Instead, you'll have the dignity of being executed properly by a firing squad, though you don't deserve it." The soldiers formed a line and aimed their rifles at me. Ijo stood up and stepped between us. "Senor Governor, this young man is my student. I assure you, he is a very famous theater director." "Shut up, Don Chinaman. You're a monk. Of course you want to save the skin of this dangerous person. Sit back down and cross your legs. If you try to interfere again, I'll consider you his accomplice and have you shot too." Ijo sighed. Then, with a beatific smile, he told me, "Death is an illusion. Life is an illusion. You will cross through the lake of the mirror. You will come to rest on the ground of emptiness." Is that all you have to say to me? These guys aren't joking. They're really going to shoot me. I'm an intellectual. I still haven't learned to die. You, who knows no fear, teach me how to do it. Ijo sat once again in his meditation position and with absolute calm recited, "Truth can never be attained by us, for we carry it forever within us." It was incredible. I was in the midst of a nightmare, and I had to wake up at this moment. An intense, immeasurable, unconditional love of life descended upon me. Everything was vibrating: the red of the earth, the yellow of the corn, the blue of the sky, the white of the clouds, the majesty of the mountains, the warmth of my body, the transparence of my consciousness, the song of the birds, the odors dancing in the air, the uniforms of the soldiers repeated 10 times like a musical motif, the sugary glint of their rifles, and above all, this love for myself. I understood why Ijo had spoken of a mirror as vast as a lake. I was this immense mirror, and my soul was rooted in the ground of emptiness. Suddenly, a great gust of wind covered us in a thick cloud of dust, interrupting the fat man's orders to fire. The wind scattered the old newspapers we had been using as tablecloths, and one of them landed next to me as my eye fell upon a large photo that covered half a page. I shouted, "Wait! Right here is the proof of my identity." I grabbed the paper and feverishly showed the fat man the picture of myself and the tigress. A banner headline announced our future marriage.